In honor of Black Maternal Health Week, I wanted to share some info on maternal mortality on a whole, as well as how it affects Blacks in the US. Let's start by saying most maternal deaths are preventable, but have been increasing in the US compared to other high-income countries. The Commonwealth Fund published an article recently, about 2 years ago in 2020, outlining how the US measured up to these other countries. These countries were Australia, Canada, France, Germany, UK, just to name a few. And in 2018, there were 17 maternal deaths for every 100,000 live births in the US. 17. The US actually had the highest number of those 10 countries, with the next in line being France with about 8.7, and the lowest being New Zealand with 1.7 per 100,000 births. When we discuss maternal deaths, we are talking about death of a woman while pregnant or occurring within that first 42 days after the end of pregnancy, regardless of duration or site of pregnancy, and from any cause related to the pregnancy or even aggravated by the pregnancy. Now, these does not include accidents or incidental cause. This definition is taken from the World Health Organization. This study looked at many issues, but there were several causes that led us to getting to this place, I think. And one of the main differences is it seems that there was a significantly difference when it comes on to the midwives versus the OBGYNs. There were much more midwives. It was more of a midwife-centered form of care for those countries that had the lower number of maternal deaths. A large portion of the maternal deaths occurred actually postpartum, more than half. The US is actually the only country out of those lists where there was no specific provider follow-up in the immediate postpartum period, where there is not a standard of practice. There is also a shortage of maternity care overall. That includes midwives and OBs. And this is one reason I think minorities have been so impacted, with Black women more than 2 times more likely to die than our white counterpart. Listen, there are so many things that has been linked to this. As mentioned before, poor access, especially for Blacks, financial disparities in healthcare overall. And if we aren't getting to the providers, if the providers aren't able to come to us, then there's going to be a lack of education. Primary care visits are extremely limited. Things like lifestyle changes. And let's be honest, the people who take my class, most childbirth ed class or hypnobirthing classes, are white women. The people who teach these classes, childbirth education, are usually white women. We're starting to see some legislative changes, but guys, we need to see a lot more, especially here in Florida. We need insurances to cover childbirth education and doula care as a standard. We need midwives in every doctor's office working alongside the OBs for the women who are low risk. We need a standard postpartum follow-up. We need to get it out, especially to our Black families, that yearly physicals long before you are pregnant need to occur so that you can prepare your body for birth and have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy postpartum period all the way up to a year after you have the baby. I hope you guys think about this the next time you see another woman who is pregnant. I hope you think about this for yourself if you are pregnant. It is very important to be educated. It is very important to have overall good health because it affects your life. It affects the life of the child. I hope this was informative and I made a difference. I am trying to make a difference by doing what I do, and everybody can play a part. We all have a role in this. Have a good week, guys.